Simona Halep has really been going through it the past year and some change, and unfortunately for her, things have gone from worse to worser. Two-time major champion Simona Halep shocked the tennis world on Friday when she revealed that she tested positive for Roxadustat, which is a blood booster banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency. According to the International Tennis Integrity Agency, Halep provided the positive sample while competing at the 2022 US Open back in August. The ITIA has provisionally suspended Halep from competing or attending any sanctioned events put on by the ITF or WTA. Addressing the suspension, Halep told fans in a statement, "Today begins the hardest match of my life. I fight for the truth. I have been notified that I have tested positive for a substance called Roxadustat in an extremely low quantity. Throughout my whole career, the idea of cheating never even crossed my mind once, as it is totally against all the values I have been educated with. Facing such an unfair situation, I feel completely confused and betrayed. I will fight until the end to prove that I never knowingly took any prohibited substance, and I have faith that sooner or later, the truth will come out. It's not about the titles or the money, it's about the honor and the love story I have developed with the game of tennis over the last 25 years, Simona." So Halep really didn't give us a lot of information here with this statement. We don't have an explanation for why the drug was found in her system or if she's been taking it prior to that positive test result. We do know that the ITIA sent Halep a pre-charge notice of an anti-doping rule violation 2 weeks ago on October 7th. Now this is after Halep underwent nose surgery in September to address breathing problems, where she also went ahead and got a plastic nose job. 3 days after that initial nose job announcement, Halep told fans that she'd be ending her 2022 season early, saying that she need ample recovery time from the surgery. A lot of people, myself included, initially thought that Halep used the nose job as an excuse to cover up her suspension, but she was notified about it 3 weeks after that nose job surgery and the season-ending announcement. Halep somehow might have been cognizant or aware of a possible ban being on the way, and thereon went ahead and got the plastic nose, but I highly doubt that. Really, the suspension is convenient for her, as she already went ahead and pulled the plug on that season. As I mentioned before, we don't know how long Halep's actually suspended for until an actual sentence is given, which she would subsequently appeal. One of the most high-profile tennis doping cases came in 2016, when Maria Sharapova was handed a 2-year suspension after testing positive for meldonium. Sharapova ultimately got the suspension reduced to 15 months. In Maria's case, she was using meldonium for 10 years, but was unaware that it had been newly banned before failing that drug test. Again, it's unclear of Halep's fate because we simply don't know the reason why she even took Roxadustat in the first place. Roxadustat is a substance used to treat anemia in patients with chronic kidney disease who are dependent on dialysis. As far as we know, Halep doesn't have chronic kidney disease, which makes me think that this whole matter is a mistake. Looking at other tennis doping cases, in 2012, Barbora Strycova received a 6-month ban from tennis for taking a weight loss supplement that had the banned stimulant sibutramine. In 2017, Sara Errani received a 10-month ban from the sport after alleging that her mother's breast cancer drug letrozole mistakenly slipped into her food during a family dinner. Then most recently, in 2021, Diana Yastremska was provisionally banned for about 6 months after testing positive for a mestarolone metabolite before being cleared by an independent tribunal, which highlighted possible contamination. We probably won't get any word on Halep's official sentencing for a few months, which was the case with Sharapova and other players. I predict Simona will be banned for about 8 to 12 months, which of course isn't great because time is money for the aging Romanian. Luckily for her, she'll already have about 3 months of the ban served by the time tennis season rolls around in 2023 with the no surgery recovery. Going back to Halep's statement, the world number 9 mentioned her feeling betrayed, which raised a few concerns. Commentator Pam Shriver made an obvious subtweet regarding the situation, saying, "Players on all tours at all levels, beware of totally changing your team and letting go of all trusted and familiar colleagues of years and years. It's easy to be manipulated and controlled by people good at controlling and manipulating." Many people thought Shriver was referring to Halep's coach Patrick Mourataglou, who she partnered with in April of this year. Briefly talking about Halep's road to being under Patrick's tutelage, the Romanian obviously cemented her Hall of Fame career with her 2 slam victories at the 2018 French and 2019 2019 Wimbledon Championships. Even though she didn't win a slam in 2020, she played very well throughout, managing to win 3 titles during that shortened season. 2021 was probably Halep's worst season in nearly a decade, which really wasn't all her fault. Simo suffered a very serious calf injury, which sidelined her from competing at the French and Wembley. Halep often talked about how she felt that she pushed her body to the limit and struggled immensely with recovery from that calf injury. Although she played well in Australia earlier this year, picking up a title, Simo revealed that she had no fight left in her and contemplated retirement. However, after working with Patrick and training at his academy for a bit, Halep rediscovered that passion for tennis and rededicated herself to the sport with the goal of making it back to the top 10, which she did. Simona talks about how she went all in 100% with Patrick and subsequently put a lot of pressure on herself to do well. Because of this, she underperformed and even suffered a panic attack during her French Open loss to Shin Wen-Jing. She got things together at Wimbledon, where she played a solid tournament, making the semifinals before winning a WTA 1000 title in Toronto. Things did not end the best for Halep though, as she lost to a qualifier, Daria Schneider, in the US Open first round. Though Simo and Patrick's partnership has been somewhat successful, there have been some concerns amongst the fans of the Romanian. For one, Patrick made a really weird IG post after Halep's panic attack loss, where he made it essentially all about him. Then, as Simona mentioned previously, she essentially restructured her whole team around Patrick, splitting with longtime manager and mentor Virginia Ruzici. She even talked about moving to Nice, France, so she could be closer to Patrick in his academy. I don't think there's any beef going on between Simona and Patrick. In fact, he came out and let fans know that he was going to be fighting this fight with Simona, which she affirmed soon after. What I do find interesting is how Patrick recently announced that he'll be coaching ATP player Holger Rune. He broke the news October 12th, 5 days after Halep was notified of the positive test. She probably told Patrick about the positive test notice soon after she found out, which was why he went ahead and partnered with Holger, sensing the Romanian would be sidelined from competitive action for a few months into 2023. Now, September last year, Simona actually got married to billionaire businessman Toni Iuruc, whom she divorced about 12 months later. Now, Halep's marriage seemed tumultuous nonetheless, as just a week after tying the knot, she split from longtime on and off again coach Darren Cahill. Then there are reports that Simo's partnership with Patrick contributed to the split, as again she made a lot of sacrifices for that coach. I believe Halep's deeper devotion to tennis was the primary cause for that split. I feel like around the time she got married to Iuruc, she was nearing that settling down period and would prioritize building a family sooner rather than later. Now, some fans speculated that Iuruc might be behind the positive drug test, but the 42-year-old came out and actually defended his ex. Iuruc told Fanatic, "I'm shocked, I can't believe that. I've known Simona for 3 years, of which at least 2 in the circuit, and I swear to you that my ex-wife is obsessed with one thing: honor. You can't take anything away from Simona, but if you take away her honor, her fairness, you kill her. She is no longer human. She never even drank water if the bottle was not sealed. She unsealed it with her hand. She was always very careful. I'll tell you something else. She didn't even take one vitamin C without asking her doctor. She is obsessed with fairness." So there you have it. Halep's ex-husband came out and even said that this is totally out of her character and that she never cheat to gain an unfair advantage. Now, side note, many fans, myself included, were making jokes that the 2019 Wimbledon title should be now handed to Serena Williams, as Halep infamously beat her 2-2 in that final. Even Serena's husband, Alexis, involved himself in the drama, talking about breaking out the "Dare Say No to Drugs" shirt he wore when Williams played against Maria Sharapova in the 2019 US Open first round. While this was a bit funny, I think Alexis should have just sat there and eaten his food, because this does not concern him. It's very low of him and very low vibrational. Also, Halep's given Serena nothing but praise and the utmost respect throughout their careers, and I feel like even Serena would know that Simo would never intend to intentionally cheat. I do find it interesting that Sharapova and now Halep are 2 players who had their big standout wins over Serena at Wimbledon, who were then suspended for banned substance use. Harmony Tan, count your days. All jokes aside, I really do feel bad for Simona, because even though she's played well this season and had her good moments, those have been completely overshadowed by drama off court. This latest chapter will be a huge test of her character and resolve, but judging from what we've seen throughout her career, I know she'll keep fighting to get her just due in the end. That's all I have for y'all in this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments on Halep's suspension and whether you believe that that there was any malintent on the part of the Romanian. Make sure y'all subscribe and click the notification bell too, so you're notified whenever I post new updates on this story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.